Okay, let's look at 9-7, products and quotients. Complex numbers, polar form. So remember, polar form are in thetas. So if we zoom in a little bit, first one we have is a product. Right, so you take one polar form, so r cosine, right? The cosine, the sine, that's how we get the polar form of a complex number, right? To tip off, because there's an I here. Right, so you take the first polar form, right? Take the second complex number, right, in polar form. If you want to multiply them together, all you have to do is multiply the radiuses together. So I get r1 times r2 and add up the angles. Alright? So you want to multiply the radiuses, add the angles. If you want to divide now, alright? So take one complex number, divide by another, right, in polar form. All you have to do, divide the radius, right, the radii, and subtract the numbers. Right? Always the top minus the bottom. Top minus the bottom. Alright, so let's see how this works. Alright, so let's find the product of 7 times cosine 105. Right? And then times 3 cosine 45. All that other stuff. Well, the product, multiply the two radii. So I get 21. Alright, and then we just add the angles. Alright, so be cosine 105 plus 45. Alright. Plus I sine 105 plus 45. Alright, and then just do the addition. So 21 cosine 150 plus I sine 150. Oops, I like to put these in parentheses, but I will. Right, so that's your product, right, in polar form. If I want rectangular form, remember, just figure out the actual numbers. Well, it's 150. So if I was to draw 150, right, it gives me a reference angle of 30. Opposite 30 is a half. Adjacent 30 is rad 3 over 2. So I know cosine, remember this is negative. So it's going to be 21 times cosine of 150 is just negative rad 3 over 2. Sine of 150 is just a half. All right, multiply through, so I get negative 21 rad 3 over 2 plus 21 half I. And there's rectangular form. Alright? Well, it's the same exact way for division. Right, I'll take the two radii, I'll take the first divided by the second. So 10 divided by 2. Cosine 3 pi tenths. Take the first angle, subtract the second angle. Pi 20ths. I sine. Once you figure out one, they're all the same. Right. Well, you know, 10 divided by 2 is 5. Right, if you want common denominators, right, get this into its 20, right, it's denominator 20. So this is really 6 pi 20th. All right, so just multiply top and bottom by 2. So you get cosine 6 pi 20th minus 1 pi 20th is 5 pi 20th. And once you figure out one, right, hopefully you're starting to see they're all the same. We can reduce 5 pi 20ths, right, to pi fourths. Sine pi fourths. Alright. And now you can go right back and change it in degrees, right? 45 degrees. Get your triangles. So we can do it just like we did the first one. Let me show you how you'd plug it in. So you don't have to, you can just use a calculator. Okay, now be careful, I'm plugging in radians. So my calculator has to be in radians. So go to mode, make sure you're in radians. Now I can plug it in. So I plug it in just like it's written. Right? 5 cosine pi fourths. So I'll do 5 cosine pi fourths plus I is second period. Alright, sine. And then I want a pi fourths. Right? The pi is second caret. When I'm good, close it all, hit enter. Alright. You'll see now I have decimals. right? Because the 45, if I would have done the triangles, is how you get rad 2 over 2. They're radicals. So if you're going to do decimals, right, for us, just round 3 decimal places. So it's 3.536. 3.536. All right, then you'll notice I have a dot, dot, dot. I can't see it all, so just hit to the right, and you'll scroll through. And it's also, it looks like 3.536. If you keep going, you'll see the I. So plus 3.536. All right, we expect them to be the same because 45 is just rad 2 over 2 and rad 2 over 2. Sine and cosine of 45 are the same, right? Depending on what quadrant you're in. We're in the first quadrant, so they're both equal. Then you're good. All right, products and quotients.